Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. Welcome to the Community Live Stream, the web show that makes you a more effective ServiceNow developer and administrator by going into the community and getting the answers and the thought process, the discovery, the exploration that goes on behind those questions and answers. My name is Chuck Tomasi. This is Wednesday, February 13th, still with a bit of a puffed up cheek from the dental procedure on Monday, but it is getting better. It is feeling better, but that explains the somewhat lopsided smile. So if I look a little roughed up, there's a reason for it. Good morning, John. We have a number of people joining us on YouTube. If you want to do that live, you can do that by visiting the URL there. Recommend that you subscribe, get your notifications turned on, so you know that when this content comes out and other community content, such as, you will get notified on your wonderful device. It's not just community live stream that happens here. We have Ask the Experts. We have the Tech Now series. We have lots of other content that shows up on this community channel, and recommend that you and your friends all stay subscribed and get that information as it comes out. We also do this on Twitch as well. Thank you very much for watching over there. If you happen to be watching, wonderful. Twitch keeps the shows around for about 2 weeks. YouTube is indefinite. And I go into a little more detail on the articles we use, the GitHub repos, that stuff that we get in there. Good morning, Goran. Good to see you. Watched your video on the Madrid Mobile Studio yesterday. Wonderful content. James is checking in from the UK. Carol is there. Steve from Sweden is online. We have the whole crew checking in. Thank you. Thank you. If you're doing more than checking in, if you've got a question about the community, if you've got a question you want to pose, a little longer in content, something deeper, something more extensive, please post that to the community over at community.servicenow.com, where I or somebody else will hopefully take a look at it, get you answers, get you moving in the right direction, understand what the problem is, what the issue is, and we will go from there. I also want to recommend that you head over to the ServiceNow developer portal at developer.servicenow.com, where you can get your free personal developer instance running Madrid, our latest release. It is in early access as of January 24th. It will be made generally available. I believe it's March 6th. Don't quote me on that timeline. That's the number I've heard thrown out. So 2-3 more weeks, you will be able to upgrade your production instances and, well, your subprods and your production to that. You'll be able to go to high. Actually, you don't go to high anymore. You request through your instance. Silly me. It's been a long time. But you can get that all ready and staged and explore, learn what's out there. We've got the CreatorCon Challenge coming up, obviously see on the screen. That is a contest to get an application running on ServiceNow and start your business, become an OEM, become a partner, technology partner, get your application listed on the store, and do that there. We also have all of the scripting APIs available, free learning plans, events, meetups, lots of great information over at the developer portal. Also related is the events that we have at meetup.com. Looks like we're over 14,000 members strong worldwide, and there are chapters all over the place. These are your developer meetups for developers only. ServiceNow developers talking about ServiceNow development. We have one here in Phoenix. It works out very well. I haven't checked when the next Phoenix one is, but we have Las Vegas coming up in a few days. I believe that's in about a little less than 2 weeks. February 20th, Salt Lake City. Looks like the topic is still TBD. February 28th, what's new in Madrid from the Bay Area. I don't know if they're going to be using my slide deck or not. I haven't talked to the group about that, but hey, great to see the Bay Area up and running again. That has been a while. Wish I could get out there to visit that one. What's new in Madrid at the Sacramento? So I suspect these will be week 1 and week 2. Oof, it's 21st. They're not going to be using my deck. It's not available till 26th at least. 21st is also first developer meetup of 2019. San Antonio is out of the gate. We've also got Oklahoma City, Minneapolis, and Tampa Bay coming up in the next month or so. So I encourage you, go check those out at meetup.com/pro/ServiceNow Dev Program. Find out if there's one in your area. If there isn't and you're interested in starting one, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help. All right, meetups are done. We also want to mention that Knowledge is just around the corner, 80 short days away. And yes, I am counting because the clock is ticking on many of the tasks that I'm working on, and making progress every day, little more, and still got to take time out to talk to you guys and make sure that you are signed up, going to Knowledge. I look forward to seeing you there. CreatorCon is going to happen. We've got new tracks. If you've got developers in your organization, excuse me, developers who are not coders, no code developers, we call them builders. That's the term we're using. We've got all new content for that persona. People who are using spreadsheets, people who are building things with Microsoft Access, or they're stuck on email, or possibly even, God forbid, paper processes. We've got ways to show them how to build applications quickly with no code, lots of capabilities, and get that into the same system of record to do cross-departmental workflows seamlessly. That's what we do. You're already aware of that. We can help them help you, because now as a deeper developer, you won't be asked to do things like put a checkbox on a form. You can be focused on Service Portal widgets, and they can put them on the Service Portal. You can be building Flow Designer and Integration Hub actions and spokes, and they can be putting them on the flow. So you can work in tandem to get more bandwidth and do what you love, and they can get their results quicker. Sounds like it's almost too good to be true, but it's not. You can find that at Knowledge. Lots of good information, lots of networking. Bring your business cards. You've heard me preach this before. If you've been to Knowledge, you know what it's all about. If you haven't, reach out, ask questions. There's lots of great information on knowledge.servicenow.com. Look for the agenda. I believe the training sign-up is coming out very, very soon, so watch for that. If you want to be involved with pre-conference training, May 5th and 6th is the pre-conference training, where you can get 3 days of content jammed into 2 for half price. So a lot of great deals happening there. You can get your next level of education, enablement training, whether it is scripting, whether it is SecOps, whether it is ITAM, lots and lots of courses that will be running on May 5th and 6th, and then transition right into the conference for 7th, 8th, and 9th, and go get more information. So that is Knowledge. We also have our next workshop coming up. The Madrid platform features on the 26th, 8 a.m. Pacific time. If you haven't already signed up, go over to that bit.ly link there, TN61Reg, and sign up for episode 61. We'll be doing that on the 26th, covering a lot of this stuff. There's a lot, as always, a lot of platform content, and that's what we're going to be focusing on, is the platform features. I will not be getting into CSM, GRC, SecOps, that kind of thing. They have their own announcements to be made. This is going to be made available on the 26th. The YouTube video won't be posted for a couple of weeks after that. So if you want to get the sneak peek on what's coming, there will be some high-level stuff covered in here. For example, it'll look like we skim over the Madrid mobile studio features. We're going to take a deeper dive into that in March. We're going to be taking a deeper dive into Flow Designer and Integration Hub in April. So there is a lot of great deeper dive content coming out, frankly, through much of 2019. So this is the session where we're going to talk about those platform features that you're not going to get on the general announcement. Yes, they'll be talking about how wonderful the mobile application and mobile studio are, but we will be going deeper. Tech Now is for administrators and developers on all those topics. Email client configuration is coming up later. Encryption, we've added some stuff to Edge. So lots of things that we'll go into deeper for the platform. So just wanted to call that out. February 26th is what's coming, and there you have a little insight as to what we've got planned for later in 2019 on that series. All right, any scripts that we write will be stored in GitHub at the repo that you see there. It is a personal repository. You're welcome to like and share and fork and do whatever you want. So the idea is, if you see scripts written here, you don't have to copy them off the screen. You can just go to the repo for the folder for today. If I were posting any scripts today, I don't know. This is totally unscripted. Never know what's going to happen. If you see any scripts written today, it'll be in a folder called 2019-02-13 for February 13th, 2019. If there isn't one, that link still goes to the top folder, and you can find scripts from previous episodes. So let's get on with it. That is the intro. And See if I can remember how to do this. There we go. All right, this is our community that we saw at the beginning. Good morning, Kobe. Good morning, Eric Miller. Let's see. We have one in the mailbox. Did I refresh that? I had one earlier. One in the mailbox. Let's do a follow-up then, real quick. And then I do have one that I was looking at before. How to revert a deleted form. Somebody said I was accidentally in the forums and deleted this record. I said, have you tried to go to system definition deleted records? Now, if you delete a form, it's also going to delete the records that are related to that, the sections and the elements that are on that section. So you could have a cascading delete, and if you restore the form, you're not going to get all the sections and fields on there. So the better way, if you've got London and beyond, is to go to rollback and recovery and go to deleted recovery or delete recovery and get that form back, and it will restore all of the other stuff that goes with it. Now, this gentleman also said, or I shouldn't assume gentleman, this person already said, sorry, I wasn't able to find the record where you mentioned. So don't know how I'm going to help there. Another question that came in that I was looking at just moments before I turned on the camera was how to display static information at the top of every page. And there are some wonderful suggestions in here, particularly around service portal and announcements. This is very similar to a question we came up with yesterday. Sorry, got something bugging me in the eye. Very simple, similar to what came up yesterday. They said, suggestions coming in about using announcements on service portal. They said, well, I need it on every page. My response to this is, be careful about using announcements or the same message on the top of every page. People will soon make that a little bigger. Did I do that? A little bigger? Too big. Begin to ignore them, and they will become ineffective. Use announcements and other attention getters judiciously. See if I can spell that this morning. It's not about the technology, it's about the process, it's about the people, it's about what you're trying to do, what you're trying to say. If I were to put a message up that said something, the same message every day, you bet I'd start to ignore it. There's so many things that you see once or twice and then go, yeah, hasn't changed. Yeah, it hasn't changed. And then if somebody does change it, you're really not going to notice it. It's going to be completely ignored, and then it really becomes terribly ineffective. So keep that in mind if you have one of those requirements or something. I want to put something at the top of every page. It's going to become like this welcome to community sign. They could change that tomorrow and I wouldn't notice because it says the same thing and I see it every day. Good morning, Carolyn Ramsport. The tea is just right today. What do we have in the unreplied section? Let's start at the top of the list. How to find related items for a CI. Let's find out what they're looking for. Given a glide record for a particular CI, how does one find all the related CIs? For example, a search has returned a glide record for a CMDB CI network adapter or CMDB CI IP address entry, and I want to find the computer class it's related to. I'm probably being dense, but it doesn't seem obvious to me. Okay, the table that contains the CMDB CI relationships is called CMDB rel CI. It will give you a parent and a child to tell you whether the CI is a parent of another, e.g. a server to an app. Speaking of spelling's going well this morning, to an app, or the child, e.g. database to an app. If you need to find out a top-level service, or if another CI is part of the relationship hierarchy, it's always a fun one to spell, hierarchy, then you will need to do a little more glide record query through the CMDB CI table. CMDB rel CI table to find what you're looking for. This may involve recursion, which is a bit of a more advanced scripting topic. All right, quick look at what we're talking about. The CMDB guys, when you go into a, let's look at servers. Under configuration, hopefully we get some demo data that supports this. Hopefully I loaded some demo data. There are, click. Let's go with this AS400. I have no idea what this record looks like. Haven't looked at it in years, but maybe it'll have some relationships under here. Okay, related items. It's used by, ding, ding, ding. So this information, if I take this sys-ID, this information will be in this table somewhere. So it's CMDB rel ci.list. I can type the table name.list up in that filter navigator, and it will bring me right to this list. And what I'm looking for, it was just called AS400, wasn't it? Slow browser, take a drink. What I am looking for is, this is the table that says, this is a parent CI, this is the child CI. Let me get my little cursor pointer up here. Oh, my cursor pointer is gone. Turn that back on. Can't help you if you can't see it. So turn on my mouse locator. Okay. Activate mouse locator. I don't know. I must have rebooted or installed something last night. There we go. So parent CI in this column, ThinkStation S20 is the parent to a BlackBerry. Its connection type is applicative flow to applicative flow from, or depends on used by. We could find our AS400 in here. And we should have, it's not a parent, maybe it's a child. There's one, retail add points. Not sure where the other ones went. Could be an or thing. Could also do a query that says, if child name is AS400 or parent name interesting. Where's the parent? Take a look at this list layout. This is where things get kind of fun. Configure list layout. Maybe we're dot walking to some fields up here. Parent type child, parent. Okay, so let's do this instead. The fun of exploration. Take this filter off and let's do parent is. Can I do that with a sys-ID? I never tried that. Now it doesn't know what to display. Parent is AS400 or child is AS400. Then we will get any relationships related to that CI. Run that and we'll of course get that. Depends on used by. I thought I saw 3 relationships in there, but I could be wrong. Let's go back to that CI. Server AS400. And down here we had used by business services. Maybe they're elsewhere. So retail adding points, retail point of sale. This one has depends on servers. Retail adding points. Back to the table of CI relationships. I can't remember what that said. Retail adding points? Is that what it's called? Retail adding points. Obviously, I haven't dealt with retail in a long time. Go here and say parent or child is retail. Fingers on the right home keys. Adding points. Or parent. Oh, you know what? Let's try this instead. All these conditions must be met. All these conditions must be met. Parent is retail. I wonder if that's going to make a difference. There we go. So there's my AS400 entry in here. And you can see these are the way that it connects the dots and how it connects them. So here's retail adding points with its various incantations. Isn't that if you just see level 1 in the rel table? Yes, it's only one level of separation apart from where you're going. So as I mentioned in the post, if you wanted to find out, is this business service at the top somehow related to a CI further down, you're going to have to do some recursion and go through these trees and say, all right, if this depends on the AS400, what does the AS400 depend on? Is there some relationship between multiple levels? It gets a little more sophisticated when you get into the scripting. Curran is absolutely correct. So let's go to the next one. How to center a logo on the mobile application. Let's find out what the question is. On iOS systems, the logo is always centralized, but on Android, a logo is left. I never noticed. That's curious. I'm going to subscribe to that. I don't know if there's anything you can do about that. It's not really a configurable option. But I will stay subscribed to find out what happens. Is there a way in ATF for inserting a record in survey instance table with an ITIL user? That's curious. Let's see. Survey instance.list. I may not even have surveys turned on here. Surveys, HR, surveys, overview, designer, view surveys, questions, templates. Do I have any in progress? Those are assessments. Those are assessment instances. They may be using the classic surveys. Interesting. Answered that one. ACL dependent on choice list value. Should be able to do that. I'm trying to create an ACL to run against the SC request table, but I'm having a bit of trouble with getting it to work. Essentially, I only want users with a custom role I've created to be the only people to be able to view certain requests if they have a certain request type. E.g., when the request type is project, only those with project roles should be able to see those records. Would anybody be able to help? Your ACL should include the role and a condition. The condition will look something like this. Type is, what was it, type? I don't know what they called it. Yeah, request type is project. ACL on to be clear, the ITM is a child record of the request record. Just to clarify that. Some people say they have a request. They might be referring to a request item. Okay. Ding. Forgot to hit the coin earlier. A little slow on the rewards. Quick look back to the inbox. Looks like we got a couple more that are following along. We're going to be multitasking today. Oh, look, we got a response to centering the logo. What was this? Oh, he posted a question. I didn't know that. If you subscribe, it immediately throws it in your inbox. Doesn't seem very useful. How to find related items for a CI. We got a response to that already. All CI relationships are stored in CMDB CI rel table. You can query this to get information about relationship. Short version of what I wrote. Okay. Moving right along. Refresh, unreplied. Let's see what's new. Possible to enforce mandatory field when pre-filled with comments. Intriguing, worth reading. We have a new requirement for some forms where management would like to have pre-filled help notes. For instance, on the change form, the description field might say, enter the details of your change here. The idea is to give some prompting where needed, and when the user enters the field, the pre-filled text goes away so the person can enter their specific information. These fields are typically mandatory, so we also don't want this pre-filled text to make the field optional by virtue. What they're looking for, W3 schools, is going to help me with the input tag. And the HTML input tag has a, what's the attribute called? Accept align autocomplete autofocus checked. That was a note or something. Pattern? Specify, no. Required read-only step type. Type text value. Nope. Oh, there was a way. Somebody in here knows. Placeholder? Placeholder, there it is. Specifies a short hint in the text. But because the input from our forms, if you look at, let's go back to that servers table. The text fields you've got here, this is a text field. If you look at the source, and we'll look for, I'm off target. I'm hitting a label somewhere. No, go over here. There we go. View frame source. And I find DNS domain. This field is all generated by the server and then sent to the browser. It's not really something you can do on a standard form. Service portal, you'd have to build your own widget to do that, which you can do, but I don't know how much customization you want to get in there. There's no placeholder. Oh, maybe. What's that? That's on a different field. Span a new record with this value will be created, name, lookup, manufacturer. But when you look at like DNS, is only that DNS domain field had a bunch of stuff in it, including, of course, the label, but the input itself doesn't have a placeholder attribute for it. So it's not something that you can do. Let's see, there's been a couple of responses. I would possibly looking into a field info message. That's a good idea. Sort of helps the text not only You could also potentially, were there 2 replies on here? There are 2 replies. Why am I only seeing 1? The other idea that I had was possibly guided tour designer. I like your idea, Alan. I like Alan's idea of a tool tip hint. You might also consider using guided tour designer to help someone understand the best way to fill out the form. And guided tour designer can be found on the product documentation page. I'm going to link to Madrid, since that's the latest docs we have. Guided tour designer. Accessibility, release notes. Let's just start at 1 and get to the top. Embedded help and guided tours. Thing. Create link HTML. Something like that. Another coin. What else do we have? How to center the logo. We looked at that. 8 views, no answers. ATF inserting a record. Cab approval is not unlocking the ticket. Reporting on recommended fields. In ITOM. Reporting in ITOM. Got to take a look just because of the categorization of this. Hi, experts. I've recently amended the recommended fields for certain types of CIs. Now I need to know how to use this information to set up reports giving me the number of CIs which have these recommended fields and those which don't. I know this sounds easy, but I'm currently struggling to get this set up. These reports will be seen by management teams, and we can use these to drive our complete. I'm not entirely familiar with what recommended fields are. Maybe somebody does. What if we take a quick look? Recommended fields. Come on, documentation. Set a CI field to be recommended. When in doubt, look it up. Define a list of CI fields as recommended, noting that it's desirable that they be populated by the data source, such as discovery. You can then configure the CMDB completeness KPI to include recommended fields in its aggregate health reports. Okay, go to the class manager. Can you report on these? Don't know. What sort of report are they looking for? Give me the number of CIs which have these recommended fields. Oh, well, click hierarchy to go to class manager. I don't know if I have any of this set up or not, but let's find out. CI class manager. Try it out, see what happens. Never played with the recommended fields. Anyone? Bueller? Welcome to the class manager. Open hierarchy. Here are your classes. Let's go to, say, something simple. Database. Basic info provides a requisite information about the CI class in order to create a new class. Then display name. Where's this going? Table name, icon. I have no idea what I'm doing. Description, database. Save. Hierarchy. In the class navigation bar, expand health and completeness, then click recommended fields. I'm not even in the right place. The class info, health, completeness, there we are. Okay, so this is in a table somewhere, obviously. If I hover over it, it should tell me CMDB health scorecard threshold. Let's go to new. Compliance, completeness, that was completeness, right? And click recommended fields. Do you see our recommended fields in here? I don't see recommended fields. Health, completeness. There, recommended fields. Just gotta look. Let's pick asset. Save that. Okay, where did it save it? If we go to, where did it save it? It's not in recommended fields. Let's go to the tables. I am just discovering. I have no idea where I'm going. System definition, tables. Label contains. That's too many to look for. CMDB recommended fields. Oh, for shame. The table name has a plural. Somebody didn't go to school that day. Recommendation. That looks like it's all something else. We take this table and we show the list. There it is, asset tag. So you can get it on CMDB recommended fields. We got something out of it. Anybody respond to this yet? Nope. A little digging shows that the recommended fields are stored in the CMDB recommended fields table. Did I mention that? Did I do that right? CMDB recommended fields, CMDB underscore recommended under fields. Yep. Be able to get the report you need from there. If you need additional help, please provide business requirements or deeper info on what you need to build. Oops, wrong button. Sorry. The blue one, not the green one. Can I blame it on my medication? Let's get rid of that view source. Let's go back to the inbox. Refresh. Got some replies going on in there, I think. Woohoo! Couple of answers correct. How to find related items in the CMDB CI. Thank you very much. Restart new version of workflow. Active records still in initial state. We covered this one yesterday. They said, hey, I need help. How do I find these records that are running? I need to change their workflow from the active context to the new version of the context. I said, go and run the cancel on the workflow and go and run start flow on the new flow you want to run. So quick follow-up to yesterday. Cruising right through this today. Recommended fields are those fields that you want to be managed but not required and part of the completeness score of the CMDB. You can look you can look at it faster than I can type. No, it's fine. Thank you, Margot. Very much appreciated. I have not been in depth in the CMDB and the CMDB health, the completeness, the correctness, all that kind of stuff. I have a peripheral awareness of it, but I've never been into the setup of it. This is more of a platform exercise to see, can I reverse engineer where things are being stored? Obviously found it. So I love it when the community comes together and tells me where to click. Apparently I still have a drinking problem, splashing tea all over my face. Fortunately, it's not hot. Oh, we still have inbox work to do. Another one came in. A reply on the restarting applications. I have written the following to resolve my issue. Go through the table, find where active is true, state equals 41, get all those queries for each record that you find. The old workflow is going to be an instantiation of workflow. Cancel that. The new workflow W will be start this workflow on gr update. Looks like it works. Don't know if gr update's going to do anything for you because nothing really got updated. We'll find out. Oh, I'm sorry, it's part of the start flow call. So my mistake. Very helpful. I like that. Thank you. Always nice when people post their solutions back to the community so others can appreciate and participate. Using contains like in an encoded query. I like encoded queries. Trying to use the below query in an if workflow activity. The purpose is to check for the AD error that equals already in group. H result, blah, blah, blah. If I find 8007-1392 in the error message, then I consider it a non-issue and move on. If I don't find the error, it means my previous failure from the add to AD group activity needs to be looked at. My problem, I think, is that the last string query line, it doesn't seem to evaluate message like at all. Is that the correct syntax for using contains like in an encoded query? Let's see how they're trying to do this. Is this, so the message contains that? Well, an easy way to find out is if you go to something like system logs, all, and you want to find a message that says contains initiated, for example, star initiated, or you could do this using the builder, the query builder up here. I prefer to use this. It's a bit quicker, provided you spell it right. And it will add on to here, and I copy the encoded query, bring that over to my text editor, paste that in. Message like initiated. So is their query looking correct? Message like 0x. So yes, except you're looking for a hex number, and I don't see a hex number in there. Can use like in an encoded query in your syntax, find message like condition. However, the ID field in context is a document type. Maybe wrong, but I don't think you can dot walk with document fields in a Glide record like that. Oh, do they have a dot walk? They do. Interesting. Current dot number. How to write Glide record queries like a pro. A lot of good messages in here. I'm going to point out this particular line. And come on, click reply to post. You got to click on the letters, not anywhere in the box, apparently. Never had that issue in the last year. I noticed your message says, and your code is fixed. Come on, with 0x. Put that in the code. 8017, blah, blah, blah. I'll get the real text in there in a second. Have you tried removing the 0x? Let's put in the code into our little code snippet editor. JavaScript by default, please. Make that small, make that big. So he said the message is already in group that. I'm going to make that bold. And see what happens. When in doubt, make it simple. Simple, simple, simple. Okay. Next. Just make sure you don't spill on the electronics. Electronics at T1 don't mix. Yeah, most liquids don't mix. Thank you, thank you. Time for another one. Can I use an encoded query as a condition in a UI action? Can I use encoded queries in condition in a UI action? I want to use a dynamic encoded query. Hope this Yes, you can. It's possible. Here are some examples. Okay. Curious what example you're looking to do. Is that my reply? Where'd my reply box go? Can you provide an example of what you are trying to do? I might be able to provide a solution for you. Somewhere I thought I had a macro around encoded queries. Encoded. Nope. Query? Client record query? No. All right, I have to go find it. On the community somewhere. That's docs. That's the inbox. You got to do a search. I have a video out here. Video encoded query. Go, go, go. Encoded query strings as Cloud records. That's not mine. Community code snippets. UI macro. Oh, for crying out loud. Let's do a search this way. On authors. Me. I don't know when I wrote this. Nope. Thought it was a blog, but I could be wrong. Oh my goodness. That's going to take a while. I know I wrote it. And the filter goes away. I had it. I don't remember where it is. Content, forums, people. There's nobody named encoded query, you silly boy. Okay. No, I wrote a video. I posted a video a while ago that might help you get the base encoded query from a list filter if you haven't done it already. It might even be on the docs. Let's go check. Docs. Encoded query strings. There it is. Copied from the list filter. Works for me. Here's a docs page written on the non-home keys. To the same type of content. Ding. And the inbox continues to respond. Morning, Ed. Good to see you. How to display static information on the top of every page. Don't do it. Don't do it, Billy. Go to the content. Show all replies. What do we got? Something new. 3 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 3 hours ago. About an hour ago. On the following article. Hey Chuck, thanks for your reply. This is a customer demand to want it that way, but still stuck the way they do. I need to display static HTML content at the top of every pages. For that, I have created static HTML block, and they need to add pages to related lists on which the content will be displayed, but I do not have the edit button available of my static HTML. Again, when the customer demands it that way, and if somebody says this is probably a bad idea, it's probably a bad idea. This is something that's very hard to do as a developer, to say, I don't think this is a good idea, because it makes you look like it can't be done. You have to have justification for this. This is a costly customization that is going to be, I won't say difficult, but challenging to implement. It's a customization that needs to be built and maintained and tested, and it is off the grid. That means it's going to impact your upgrades. That means it's going to impact the total cost of this maintenance. And if they understand what that is, then somebody needs to sign off and say, yes, I agree. Because when it gets time to be the 2, 4, 5 years down the road, they go, why can't we upgrade? Why is this so hard to test? Why is it taking so long? It's because somebody made a decision to put this customization in place. And this is the type of prescriptive information we hear back from our customers, usually after the implementation. Now we're hearing it more beforehand, saying, you've done thousands of these implementations. Please tell us what we need to do and tell us what we shouldn't be doing. This is clearly one of those cases where I'm going to step in and say, you shouldn't be doing this. It is not an easy native platform feature. If you're looking for it to be a platform feature, if you truly need this, then reach out and put in an enhancement request so that it can become part of our backlog of what customers are asking for. So this is my reply. Okay. I would help them recognize this is a customization that is going to be costly to build and maintain and may impact upgrades and future enhancements adversely. If they really need this, I invite you to open an enhancement request so that it can get into the backlog. It's the sound advice I have. I don't have any technical advice to do that. I would not build it myself, but I'm not in your position, and I respect that. Possible to enforce mandatory field and pre-filled with comments. There we go. What did we get? Guided tours. Was there a response to this? Brian Bouchard responded. There are more comments down here. Can I show all comments? I want to see what's going on with this discussion. Come on, tell me. I don't see a response from Brian. I only see the 2 replies here. Very odd that this said somebody responded. Whatever. We'll make our way. How to center the logo. Back to the mobile app. Can we center the logo? 5 minutes ago, we got no response. This is bizarre. Okay. At the moment, there's no possible way to do that. I don't see anything else in Madrid. If you think that it'd be nice to have, or is a request. There we go. Let's close that out. Can I use couple more? I think we've got time for a couple more. See what's happening on the community this morning. Additional comments on catalog task. This sounds really familiar. I want to display additional comments on a catalog task form similar to additional comments which appears in incidents and request items. Now, I'm not able to see checkbox under additional comments in catalog task, which toggle between comments and work notes. Please see the screenshots and kindly help me in that regard. So in catalog task, they just have the comments and work notes. I believe this is a different widget. Click this button to bring it back. Broken image. Is the broken image uploaded yet? There we go. You're not dealing with the same fields though. There's no button here. Let's go take a look. sctask.list. I think we got a couple records in there. And in the sctask, the form appears as just work notes for me. Interesting. I do not have comments. What's on the form? If we do configure form design, this is reverse engineering at its best. We have just the work notes. If we put additional comments on there, we would have, save that, reload that. Will it auto combine them? Yes. Okay, but that's not the same. What happens if we put additional comments and work notes, and there was another one? Was it comments and work notes? Comments and work notes. Is this the one that's two different fields? I know there's a difference in these. I just can't remember what it is. I don't use it often enough. This one shows up as nothing. Interesting. In their image, is it possibly on another tab? Activity, new section, comments and work notes. No. Sometimes when there are different tabs, they get a little different. So what is the difference between those two? Is there an activity formatter like there is an incident? Yes, this is the activity formatter. We see that right here. But if I did additional comments here, no, what happens if you put both? I think one is a journal and one's a journal input field. I can't remember. We have to do a little digging in the dictionary to find that one out. So comments here just has additional comments. Oh, look. A preview. If you start typing, it goes away. Why, that one's special, isn't it? It's because it's a totally different widget. If you put work notes out here, it somehow knows that if both are on the form, it re-renders them as a different widget. This is just the comments widget, but this, come on, reload it. Yeah, fine with you. I won't use the menu, I'll use the right click. It reloads it and turns it into this combined widget thing. This is a different setup when it's got both on there. Obviously, this isn't doing me any good. That's fascinating. What version are you using? What version of ServiceNow are you using in the displayed images? I just tried this on Madrid, and when I put comments on the form, only the comments input is available. When I put both, it uses the combined widget. Now, with both of them on there, yeah, see there you say work notes is on off. Toggle between between one, both, or either. Might have been a slight change in the UI. Before you save, don't you have the checkboxes to work notes, etc.? It isn't a new record, and since this is how it looks before you save. Oh, okay, so let's... what you're saying is, if I go to work notes and save this, Not sure what steps you're talking about, but this is a saved record. This one I pulled up from the list. So this is already saved. But is he looking at a new record? Let's go to SC task and find out. New. Oh, that's intriguing. For a new record, it displays it differently. And then when I save it, interesting. Okay. Thank you. Just found out from Goran, give you credit on that it displays one way for a new record and then another way for a saved record. Wow, didn't know that. Don't have any explanation yet. Yet being the operative word. Let's see if I can check into that and get an answer back on that one. That is an obscure piece of trivia. Interesting, interesting. One for you, one for me. There we go. We all learned something new today. Now we can go home? Oh, wait, I am home. Possible to enforce mandatory fields when pre-filled with comments. Marked helpful. Thank you. Just keeping up on what's going on. Keep the conversations alive. What do you think? One more? It's as fun as that last one. Custom PDF generation. That one is probably going to... I swear this has been answered before. I have a requirement to generate a custom PDF from the record in a specified format as attached. May I know if anyone has worked on a similar requirement in your past? I have to generate a custom PDF as attached with no change in HTML. The value in the field should be filled from record form. P.S. I've gone through the post on PDF Generator plugin. Okay. Not sure exactly what we're looking for here, but I'm going to subscribe because that one does come up from time to time. How to manage VMware instances through REST API. I would say you could write it your own or you could get your orchestration activity pack. How do we manage, stop, terminate, etc. VMware VM instances through REST APIs? Try to terminate. All this is available. Don't know if it's in. Do we have VMware in Integration Hub yet? Integration Hub. Spokes. Where are the spokes? Available spokes in Madrid. HipChat, Microsoft, No VMware yet. Okay. So let's, in orchestration, it's up if you choose to write your own REST APIs, it's going to be time consuming to build and maintain. Whereas if you purchase orchestration, you can drop the activities on the workflow and maintain them easier going forward. Okay, VMware orchestration. Probes, models, VMware discovery, VMware credentials, VMware virtual machines. Cloud management, that's what I'm looking for. VMware, forgot we renamed it. VMware Cloud Management Setup Guide for VMware. Sounds like a good place to start. Yep. Read a link, HTML, change that from orchestration to that. Ding, 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 ding. Such is the community where we all learn. All right. I have reached the top of the hour, and I think my jaw is extremely sore from talking. I have to go take some more painkillers. I appreciate everybody joining in today. Thank you very much. If you found something helpful, useful in the last hour, go ahead and click that like button on the YouTube. If you're watching this in the community later, click the helpful button so that other people know there's something useful, entertaining, educational, transformative in this video that you can make use of. Until next time, I look forward to talking to you again. Be sure if you learned something to go and share and be helpful. Talk to you later. Bye now.